Hello, my name is Justin Diaz, and today I'm going to speak about how women are treated in male-dominated sports. Women are treated significantly worse based on their gender more than anything else. They not only get paid less, but also don't receive the recognition they deserve for the efforts they put in the sport they play in. First, we have the wage comparison between female athletes and male athletes, and we're noticing a significant difference between the two, where males are earning more than 10 times in each respective sport, except for tennis, which has only recently updated the rules to make it more fair. Here we have another comparison between today's famous athletes and how much they make. For 2010, we have, for 2010, we have the highest earner, Tiger Woods, earning 105 million a year. And in the same year, the highest woman athlete earner was Maria Sharapova, where she earned $24.5 million. Here we can see that in 2010, there was a big chasm between the two salaries. And the only reason why that's so is because the wage gap between the two exists simply because women are women. People see them as less, they earn less revenue in their respective sports. And it's only because of how they're looked at and how they're judged and how they're treated by not only people, but by also social media, which we'll get into. In 2019, there was an even higher difference between the two, which was here we see Lionel Messi earning 127 million and Serena Williams earning 29 million. Serena Williams only recently became famous and she's earning that much. But as you can see, the difference still hasn't changed because male athletes earned even more between the years. Here we have the media comparison between the two. Female athletes account for 40% of all media coverage, of all, not media coverage, sorry, of all athletic personnel, meaning that 40% of all athletes are females. So with this statistic, you see here the media coverage is ridiculously low. 5% of all media coverage related to sports, 5% of it was females, meaning 95% of that was all strictly male sports. And that was starting in 1989. It didn't change that much as it goes up the years until it hit around 1993, and it had a sharp increase, which was when female athletes like against Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova, that's when they started getting to sports and becoming popular. But after that, after the hype died down, there was another sharp decline in their media coverage, which led them at all-time low in 2009, which was when Maria Sharapova was the highest earner. So, as you can tell, women are treated significantly worse. This all ties back to how they're treated because they don't have as much resources as the males, and because of that, they're just overall their quality of athletic entertainment is going down, and it's only an effect of because of how differently that the media coverage is comparing the two, which means they don't get the recognition and they don't get the sales and the views, which all brings in revenue, which can help women increase their differences. Here's another statistic between the two, and it's honing in on basketball, which is a highly male-dominated sport. And you can tell that the NBA accounts for 92.3%. This was in 2009. 92.3% of all professional basketball, social media, media in general coverage, 92.3% of it was all the NBA, while 7.7% of it was the WNBA. This leads to a ratio of 12-1. So for every 12 people that were watching NBA or WNBA, 12% of it was watching males, while 1 was watching females. So, and this is just to show how much the chasm is, to show between how the two were. Sorry, they're looked at so less compared to males, simply because, you know, they're looked down upon, they're seen as weaker, softer, you know, worse. And although there is a skill gap, it's not as big. You know, some might say there's a skill gap, and you know, it might be there, it might be a little skill gap, but it's not sufficient enough to where you can, you know, justify these numbers that over 90% of all attention is going strictly to males. You know, and they're protected under the Title IX, right? Meaning that women should be treated just as fairly as men do. They deserve all the same amount of things, all the same amount of treatment, and they're not. You can see by the numbers here that they're just not treated the same. And it got a little better later on in the year, where it went down to 77.8% for NBA and 22.2% for WNBA, and that's thanks to people, you know, voicing out and saying that, you know, something has to change, but overall it hasn't really changed. So you might ask, what is the solution for this situation? For a situation like this, the only solution that can be presented is if, you know, the public, the people who watch the media, who watch the WNBA, who watch the NBA, the only solution is they come together and make a stand for female athletes, because this is not really a business per se problem. This is more of a social issue that people have to come together and make a decision that they're gonna start making this fair. The situation they're gonna fix, and it's gonna make it fair for women. That's the end. Any questions?
Yeah, I do have two questions. I'm just scribbling some stuff down. First question, how valid and reliable were the sources that you used, and then how do you know they were?
The sources were all taken from professionally documented, you know, sites and websites. So I took mostly journal reports, articles done by credible reporters. They were taken from sports professionals, so coaches, announcers. So I know those are credible because, you know, it was a firsthand account of the situation.
Okay, and if you had more time, what additional research would you have conducted?
I would have looked into exactly how deep the difference is, like the reasons for the difference. Because here I showed media coverage and economical differences, but I know there has to be some sort of cultural differences as well as to why specifically. Because I don't really know if it's a worldwide problem. Like, you know, you never know if in Europe it could be a lot, you know, easier. I've honed in on the United States, but you don't know if this is something that's strictly cultural, so only the US has this issue, or is it a worldwide issue.